UFC set to make unprecedented change after Justin Gaethje complaint following White House card. The new lightweight champion may have led the way for a massive UFC change that fans have demanded for years. The UFC are in negotiations to make a major change following Justin Gaethje's complaints after his win at the White House. 9 years after making his UFC debut, veteran fighter Gaethje finally realized his dream of becoming undisputed champion in what is one of the sport's most kinetic moments. Nicknamed the human highlight reel, Gaethje quickly established himself as a fan-favorite UFC fighter and a serious contender in the lightweight division, challenging for the title on 3 occasions. Although he lost both of his first 2 attempts at the undisputed belt, the American put in a stellar performance to secure a major upset victory over Ilia Topuria on the historic White House card. Gaethje used his wealth of experience, impressive striking, and cardio to secure the biggest moment of his career, and it appears that this success may partly have been due to the UFC making a slight change to his gloves. Speaking on the Joe Rogan Experience, Gaethje admitted that the current UFC gloves led to him dealing with excruciating pain in a part of his hand, criticizing them for how uncomfortable they were. But at the White House, either intentionally or not, Gaethje's gloves were different, allowing him to relax more during the fight. "The gloves I fought in this week were different," Gaethje told Rogan. "The leather was different. It was a little bit thicker, I think, and so it was softer. And so every time I've ever fought, I've had the most excruciating pain in between my hands right here, and I didn't feel that at all this fight. This was looser and it was thicker. It's weird. Better. Better for comfortability. You have no idea how uncomfortable we are, and you're constantly pulling on the tongue here trying to get compression." Complaining further about the typical gloves, he added, "The thing is, the gloves we're fighting in now are fucking terrible. It's hard to make a fist. You have to use your entire muscle of your arm to make a fist, and so by the time we get to the fight, your forearm is exhausted, and then the pressure in between your fingers is like something you can't replicate." Explaining how the current gloves are responsible for the current eye-poking issue that has plagued the UFC in recent months, Gaethje added, "When I'm relaxed, and if my hand can be in this closed position when I'm relaxed, then I'm okay. Then there's not going to be as many eye pokes. But when I relax and it goes open, you're never going to take the human reaction and instinct away to protect yourself, and the instinct to protect yourself is fingers out. That is the instinct." UFC re-enter talks with Trevor Whitman over using new ONX gloves. Following Gaethje's comments, it appears that the UFC may be listening to their new lightweight champion, as it has been revealed that the UFC have started discussions with Whitman, Gaethje's coach, about taking on his specially designed ONX MMA gloves. UFC fans have long called for the organization to adopt the gloves, which were designed with special padding and internal strapping to reportedly make it less likely for fighters to damage their hands while punching. Additionally, the gloves ensure keeping your hand in a fist is much easier, which would in theory end the eye poke issue. The UFC has previously held talks with Whitman over using the gloves, but the deal fell apart, with the promotion instead choosing to use their own new design, which has since been abandoned. "We've been speaking to Trevor for years. They wanted like $100 million for the glove," UFC president and CEO Dana White recently confirmed. After ditching the new gloves and returning to the old ones that Gaethje had been complaining about, it was not expected that the UFC would be addressing the gloves again anytime soon. But Whitman, who appeared alongside Gaethje on Rogan's podcast, has now revealed that this may not be the case, as he is set to re-enter talks with the UFC about using the ONX gloves. "So Hunter reached out to me 4 weeks ago, and said he wanted to ignite the conversation again," Whitman revealed to Rogan. "So we'll see where that goes."